If you find yourself procrastinating, putting things off, this video is for you. Enough is enough.
Yeah, yeah. Comfortably me, heavy.
We all struggle with procrastination. Some of ours may be worse than others, but we all struggle with procrastination. And before we get into it, I want to say thank you to Skillshare for sponsoring today's video. You know how when you need to get something done, you wait to the last minute and then now you're rushing, you feel overwhelmed, you feel anxious, and you're full of anxiety. And it's just like you could have got it done earlier, but you put it off and now you're scramming for time. And in other cases, you have a goal, you've written it down, but you never act on it because you're procrastinating. You're thinking that you have enough time. And literally, time is so valuable and you don't know when you're going to run out of time. You don't know when the time is going to be up. Time is so precious. So we cannot waste time, especially on things that actually need to be done. So if this resonates with you, if you're someone who tends to put things off or you struggle with procrastination, or there are seasons in your life where you see that you go into that hole of procrastination, it's like maybe around the holidays or maybe around certain time of the year or certain seasons, this video is for you. Today, I'm going to help you break free from procrastination because I struggle with it too. So you're not alone, sister. Not only am I going to give you practical tips on how to break free from procrastination, but I'm also going to give you biblical wisdom because you know the Bible has everything we need to know about our glow up, okay? That's literally the blueprint. The Bible talks a lot about self-control, diligence, and also, most importantly, discipline. We're going to need a lot of that in order for us to stop procrastinating. So let's get into it. Make sure you have your pen and paper out, sis, because I need you to take notes and actually put this into practice. Don't just write it down and just throw it to the side. I need you to implement this in your daily activities, in your daily work through. So let's start off with number one. We always talk about getting to the root of it. And that's how God works. When God heals you or takes you out of something, he always starts at the root. So it never comes back. So with that being said, we have to first identify the root cause of procrastination. Why are you really procrastinating? What is currently going on in your mood? What are you currently going through emotionally, mentally, and physically? What is going on around you? What is your environment like when you start to procrastinate? Is it during a certain season or a certain time? When does this urge to procrastinate happen for you? And why are you actually putting this off? Sometimes it has nothing to do with what you currently are going through mentally, emotionally, or physically, but it has everything to do with the actual task at hand. Like for instance, if you're fearful of starting a business, you're going to try to put it off as long as you can because you're fearful. And God doesn't give us a spirit of fear. So you know that's nothing but the enemy. But the fact that you are fearful of starting it, you're going to think you're not capable of it. So putting it off for you is a safety net because the longer you put it off, the longer you don't have to worry about failing or it not working out, and you stay in that comfort zone. In 2 Timothy chapter 1, verse 7, it says, "For God has not given us a spirit of fear, but of power, love, and a sound mind." Always remember that. Meditate on that scripture when fear starts to creep in, when you start to think that you're not good enough or think that you are not capable of completing the task, going after the goal, and really living your best life. Procrastination can sometimes be tied to laziness, but not all the time. It's rooted mostly in fear. What emotions come about when you feel the need to put off these things that are important to you? Not only fear, but perfectionism. When you struggle with perfectionism, if something doesn't come out perfect, you're not going to feel like doing it. You're going to feel like it's not even worth doing it. Like for example, if you have dreams of being a content creator or have a goal of being a content creator, but you feel like your home where you live or what you drive or even your wardrobe is not aesthetically pleasing, you will put it off because you want everything to be perfect instead of starting where you are. And it's so important to start where you are because that's where the new you is going to be birthed out. That person that is going to obtain the goal, it doesn't start when you actually have the aesthetically pleasing outfits or home or car in your mind. That doesn't make you a better creator. Being a better creator is starting where you are right now and having something to give your audience. Struggling with perfectionism will keep you in a box because you're ultimately trying to please other people or so consumed by the validation of other people. Like, you always in the back of your mind thinking like, okay, what if I put this out? What would they think about me? What? And it's just like, okay, you end up not even doing it because you're so bothered by the outcome and you didn't even start. So what you're actually in fear of has not even happened yet. And being overwhelmed. Procrastination is also tied to being overwhelmed. And you only feel overwhelmed because maybe things around you are chaotic, or maybe you didn't prioritize or strategize effectively. And that can all be fixed. But knowing what the root of your procrastination is key. And recognize if fear is stopping you, God did not give you that. You know that it's coming from the enemy. And I always say this: when you are fearful of something or doing something, that's when you should go. That's when you know it's something that's trying to block you and keep you from going forward, and it's worth it. Because when you push past fear, that's when blessings overflow. A new you emerges. And that's what makes life more fulfilling. Number 2, break it down in small steps. Like, you don't have to overconsume. Like, one thing about me, I would jot down a whole bunch of things to do, and then I'll end up feeling overwhelmed, and then I'll begin to procrastinate because I feel like I'm never going to get done with this to-do list. Break it down in small steps. You don't have to finish it all in one day. Rome was not built in a day. Okay. It was not built in a day. We're going to build this thing brick by brick by brick by brick. Okay. And that's where diligence comes in. And diligence is being careful and persistent at work. Whatever work that you're doing, you're careful at it and you're persistent and you actually put in the effort. That's what being a diligent person means. And when you break down the entire process into steps, it makes it easier for you to complete it. And that's the way you strategize your success. Breaking it down in small steps so you can literally see how you're going to build this thing. And remember, God doesn't give you the spirit of fear, and God honors diligence. Take it small, be consistent, and be persistent. Do not rush the process. This is not something that is microwavable. No. If you want anything to be worth it, it's going to take some time. It's like baking fresh cookies from scratch. You can't think that you're going to just put all of these ingredients fast together and in 1 minute you're going to have a cookie. No, store-bought cookie tastes very different from at-home baked from scratch cookies. You know you're going to have to wait even after it comes out of the oven. It has to sit and, until it hardens up a little bit, but it's still ooey and gooey and so tasty. The same way for your goals. Break it down in small steps, because if you try to rush it, the outcome of it is not going to be the same if you would have took your time with it. In Proverbs chapter 21, verse 5, it says, "The plans of the diligent lead to profit, as surely as hasty leads to poverty." When you're hasty, when you're in a rush, it only leads you to poverty because you're not even able to think clearly. You're not even able to move with wisdom and a clear and sound mind. You're rushing, and we don't rush over here. And that's how you're going to stay on the task of being productive and not allowing procrastination to stunt your growth. Staying productive is key, and I'm all about learning new skills and honing in on my gifts. Listen, I'm trying to glow up and live my best life. But I know with that, I need help. That's why I love Skillshare. Instead of idle scrolling like I used to, I now join class. Yes, you heard me, class. I join classes on Skillshare to help me become a better creative. To hone in on my gifts and really sharpen the things that I kind of like struggle with or just need help with. I'm currently completing the Notions for YouTube Creators class, and I absolutely love it because I'm all over the place sometimes. And now I'm able to be organized with my content, and it helps me be more disciplined, consistent, and actually hold myself accountable to actually put out the content so we can always glow up together, so I can actually get the content out to you guys. One of my goals for this year was to actually learn how to effectively use Notions, because Notions is a great tool, but it can get complicated. So I'm so happy to be in this class. And not only does Skillshare offer this class, but they offer over 1,000 classes in different categories like film, crafts, and anything that involves being a creative. They have it. I can't forget about the business people because I also plan on taking classes that's going to help me manage my business better and actually market my business better. So Skillshare has every category covered. And you don't have to worry about being overwhelmed because, we don't like anything that's going to overwhelm us because we're trying to get out of procrastination and trying to be more disciplined. Skillshare allows you to work at your own pace, and that's what I love the most. So if you're struggling with procrastination and you want to just learn new skills to sharpen you or just to learn something new, it's always good to learn something new. You don't know what is out there and what you actually like until you try it, or if you're just taught something new. Knowledge is something no one can take from you. And a skill is something that you can use to your advantage. And sis, I could not leave you out of this. We are glowing up together. The first 500 people to use my link in the description will receive 1 month free trial of Skillshare. So join today. Don't wait. We're no longer putting things off. No more procrastinating. Get started right now. Number 3, so when you feel like you want to procrastinate, commit to doing at least 5 minutes of work. Because once you trick your mind to actually starting, it's just going to keep going. You're going to see how easy it is, how effortlessly you're completing the task. And that 5 minutes end up being an hour or 30 minutes. So just starting, even putting a timer if you don't feel like dedicating that much time into your goal, which I'm side-eyeing you, but if you only have 5 minutes to dedicate to this task, put on a timer, put on a 30-minute timer, put on a 5-minute timer, and time yourself. Make it something competitive. Like you're only in competition with yourself at the end of the day. No one is in your way. You have to have tunnel vision when it comes to your life. In Proverbs chapter 16, verse 3, it says, "Commit your work to the Lord and your plans will be established." Give God your best effort. You got to think about everything that you're doing it onto God's glory. So think of it like that. And that should move you in a different way. This is not only for you, but it's for God. So moving with the spirit of excellence. And with that being said, getting up and actually doing what you're supposed to do. Set up that timer. Sometimes it's going to be hard because you're fighting against an enemy that you cannot see. But God will guide you to making the right decisions and also helping you do the work when you do not even feel like it. If you're struggling with procrastination, invite God in. All you need to do is start. And he's going to be right there with you. Say a quick prayer before you even start. Trust me, it'll turn things around. Number 4, remove the distractions. Maybe you should put your phone in a different room when you're working and definitely use D&D. I love D&D. When I'm filming or when I just want to read or when I just need time to myself to do little things around the house, I do not want to be distracted. So I turn off all of my notifications and I hone in on what needs to be done. I don't need any distractions. I don't need any phone calls coming in. If it's not life or death, literally, it can wait. And that's what kind of mindset that you have to have. Stop people pleasing. Stop thinking that every time your phone rings that you have to answer or every text message has to be answered in 1 second. You need to block social media. Like it takes too much of your time and it's not productive. It's not doing anything but allowing you to compare your life to someone else. It's only planting seeds of discord in your life. So removing the distractions, whatever is distracting you, you know exactly what is distracting you. Sometimes you just have to take evaluation of your life. When you sit down and think about, okay, when I'm trying to write this book that's been on my heart that I've been called to write, I'm always getting a phone call from so-and-so. That means the enemy is trying to distract you from actually completing the goal because your purpose is tied to writing that book. You stepping out in entrepreneurship, becoming a bestseller is tied to that book, but the enemy will try to block that and the enemy will use people. The enemy will use the things around you to distract you from completing that goal. He does not want you to be who God calls you to be. That's why you have to block out the distractions. In Hebrews chapter 12, verse 1, it says, "Let us throw off everything that hinders and the sin that so easily entangles, and let us run with perseverance the race marked out for us." Distractions are weights that slow us down. Imagine walking around every day trying to get to your destination. That means your goal, the end goal, and you're carrying 100-pound weights with you. Obviously, the journey is going to be longer. It's going to weigh you down. It's going to slow you down. And that's what distractions do. Distractions slow down your momentum. So you have to block it. You have the power to block it. And that's what you need to realize. Identify what's pulling you away from your goal, what's pulling you outside of the will of God, and cut it. You got to cut the distractions out because it's been distracting you for too long. Time block and set deadlines. Ooh, this will save you. This will help you get your life in order. Actually planning out your day the night before or even the week before. Use Sunday to plan out your whole week or the first 2 days of your week, and then go from there. But setting time blocks, not just writing to things to do, but actually writing what time it needs to be done and what time you're going to start it. I know it could be meticulous or you'll feel like, oh, that's too much, but you are worth it. Your life, your destiny, your future is worth it. Putting in the effort of actually writing these things down and being intentional about what time it needs to be completed, it makes you more accountable and it allows you to see what your day-to-day looks like. Set a deadline, but first plan it out. You'll feel so proud of yourself that you actually accomplished something by a due date. It's like graduating school or something. Like, you're gonna feel so proud of yourself. And listen, I want to be proud of you too. You can also try the Pomodoro technique. I'm going to add it right here. So it's work for 25 minutes and take a break for 5 minutes. So that'll help you not get overwhelmed or feel like you're stuck in one place. So you'll work for 25 minutes, take a break for 5 minutes, meaning you're not doing anything work related for those 5 minutes. And then you'll go back to 25 minutes of work. And that works hand in hand with the time blocks and setting deadlines. Number 6, reward yourself. You know, we always love a good reward, but we're getting out of the toxic habit of rewarding ourselves with food because we're healing our guts. We're being more healthier in this season. We're all focused on health and wellness, right, girls? Yeah. So with that being said, we're going to reward ourselves for our progress by taking ourselves out to somewhere new, going to buy that book that just came out, or buying some running shoes so you can get more active, or treating yourself with a facial, something like that, something that will help with your self-care and just help with your overall, not only appearance, but mental health, things like that. So reward yourself with, that'll make you feel good about you, not you running to go eat an unhealthy meal that's gonna have you in the bathroom or have you feeling weighed down. Because when you actually eat certain things, it does weigh you down and it does affect your mental health. Food is tied to your mental health. In Proverbs chapter 16, verse 26, it says, "A worker's appetite works for him. His mouth urges him on." Exactly. So whatever you reward yourself, it urges you on. When you eat an unhealthy meal, it holds you back. It doesn't push you to go forward. It makes you sluggish. It makes you more lazy. So that's why I say reward yourself with something that's edifying, that'll be good for your body, your mind, soul, and body. Having rewards keeps us motivated. You know, we love a good little motivation. We love a little thing that's dangling in front of us. God designed us to work hard, but also enjoy the fruits of our labor. Working hard does not mean that you feel tired, because God also believes in rest. But doing the actual work that is necessary for you to meet the end goal is a beautiful thing, and you should be rewarded by that. Number 7, stop waiting for motivation. I know I just said the reward motivates you, but how about when the reward does not come because you haven't put in the action? So with that, you have to push past being motivated, because there's going to be days that you wake up and you're just not going to feel like it. There's something else that has to happen on the inside of you that makes you want to get up and just do it. No matter what, just get it done. And that's where discipline comes in. Discipline is a beautiful thing. In Proverbs chapter 12, verse 1, it says, "Whoever loves discipline loves knowledge, but who hates reproof is stupid." But the one who hates reproof is stupid. That's what the Bible said. I didn't say it, y'all. I'm not name calling. That's exactly what the Bible said. Don't be a fool. You need discipline in everything that you do, because We cannot solely depend on motivation. Life sometimes life. So what is going to keep you going when you don't feel like getting up and doing what you're supposed to do? Motivation comes and goes, but discipline is what's going to keep you. Discipline is what's going to keep you grounded and keep you moving forward. If the thing that we have dominion over is working harder than us and is able to get the task done that is set out for them to complete the goal, because they know there's going to be a season where they're going to need that food, so they store it up. So that's why you always see them going back and forth to the ant pile to where their home is. I don't know, I don't know if y'all ever stepped in the ant pile. You know how that get. But that's where they're storing all the food. That's where they're storing all the necessary things that they're going to need when that rain, when that flood comes. They're not waiting for motivation. They know that there's a necessity that they have to get up and do this. Because if not, they will die. And that's the mindset you should have. If you do not get up and do, you may not die literally, but there's a part of you that is going to die. You're going to look back on your life with full of regrets and what ifs, but you have the power to change that today. And that brings me to number 8. You have to shift your mindset, what you have to do and what you have to let go of, knowing to identify, knowing what you have to do and knowing what you have to let go. That is going to be very important on this journey. This is not just about letting go of procrastination. This is about you fulfilling your destiny, you living out in purpose. This is about your future. And it's all about perception. Sometimes you feel overwhelmed and you don't feel like doing the same thing because you're not seeing the outcome or the reward. Shift your mindset to gratitude. Instead of saying, oh my goodness, I have to go to work. I have to do these things. I have to go fill out this paperwork. I have to, right now, I feel like this. Oh no, I get to go to work. I get to start this business. I get to write this book. I get to, because tomorrow is not promised. So you literally get to do these things in this present moment. So take advantage what you get to do in the present moment. That is a blessing. That's you showing up in your full self, because tomorrow, the next minute may not be promised to you. Philippians chapter 2, verse 14 through 15, it says, do everything without grumbling or arguing, so that you may become blameless and pure. No more complaining. You cannot complain and say, oh my God, as a man thinketh, so is he. So anything that comes out of your mouth talking about your situation, your circumstances, your life, that's what you believe about yourself. So start thinking positive things. Start thinking how God sees you. Let go of that toxic mindset. Let go of that little mindset. Let go of those negative self-talks. Your attitude changes everything. And that is very important. Once you change your mindset, you change your life. You have the ability to change your life and shift everything around you. People, places, and things. Because once you change your mindset, you're going to show up differently. You're going to show up in this world differently. Instead of seeing the task that you have to do as a burden, look at it as an opportunity, because that is what it is. And that brings me to my final point. Number 9, the most important. Pray and ask God for strength, because you're going to need God to complete the task. You're going to need God to carry you through, because if it was up to us, we would have been gave up. We already ended up procrastinating in the first place. So God is going to help you break free from this cycle as well. Implementing God into your daily task, implementing God into this process and opening up. When you start to hear these negative self-talks, I want you to say a prayer. I want you to cast down those word curses. Like, no, I'm not going to be a failure. I live a life of victory, that everything that I do wins. Everything I set out to do, I accomplish. That's the kind of mindset you need to have. And that's the way you need to talk about yourself, about your life, and your current circumstance. Everything is spiritual. So procrastination is not just you putting off things, but it's a spiritual warfare or spiritual battle that is going on, because the enemy does not want you to complete the task. The enemy does not want you to be successful. The enemy does not want you to live your best life. So the enemy loves when you're procrastinating. The enemy loves when you're doubting yourself and just being complacent and just living in lack. If you're feeling stuck and you feel like you don't even have the bandwidth to get up and do, I want you to pray your way through it. God is going to give you the strength. The Holy Spirit is going to pick you up. Not only is God going to give you strength, but he's going to also give you the wisdom. You may not have read a book in a while. You're going to begin to do things that you thought you were not capable of doing, but it's the Holy Spirit that's going to guide you to do these things. And that brings me to Philippians chapter 4, verse 13. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. Exactly. That's with God, you have the power to overcome procrastination. Surrender it to Him. Surrendering is a beautiful thing. It's you laying it at God's feet and allowing God to have His way fully. You are not on this journey alone. I'm here with you. And most importantly, God is here with you and walking alongside of you. Surrender your work to Him and believe and trust that He's going to see you through and that you will overcome every obstacle and you're going to accomplish and complete every task. God will help you move forward. So you don't need to worry about you being stuck behind because that ends today. Procrastination does not have to control your life anymore. Let me tell you, come out of agreement with procrastination right now. With the right mindset and discipline and consistency, you can overcome procrastination easily. And you can start walking in purpose and living a more fulfilled life. Let me know which one of these steps stood out to you the most and which one are you going to apply in your life today, starting today. We're not putting it off another second, another day, not tomorrow, not Monday. We're starting today. The moment you watch this video, I want you to implement this. I'll see you in the next one. Bye, sis.